there, thanks for joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on this La La Land Crafts image called Baker Marci. Isn't she cute? You get her this sentiment and then 2 other sentiments with your stamp set this time. Always love that because you don't have to look, they're right there in the package. I will put a link down in the description box of the card kit and all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I'll make sure to get back to you. Otherwise, I have already stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound Solar White cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So let's color. Alright, since we're going to cut her out this time, we're not going to give her an outline. We're going to start with her skin. For that, we're going to use E21, 00, 000, and for her cheeks, I'm going to use R20 and 30. And I'm going to start down here on her leg. And I'm going to start by using E21. And I'm going to use that right here in the center, and I'm just going to brush away from the inside of her leg. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And then I want to add E00. And then we'll fill it in with our E000. And I like to go all the way across. Alright, let's go up here and we will do her arm next. So we're going to start with our E21. And let's do this arm too. And then I'm going to add E00. And then I'm going to go over the entire arm with my E000. And then we'll go up here and do her neck. So I'm going to start again with my E21. And E00. And then over her entire neck with my E000. Then we'll start up here on her face. Let's do ear first, and I'm going to first start with my E21. And let's do this ear over here. And then for her face, let's do up here by her bangs and around here by her ear. And then I'm going to add E00. And then we'll add E000. Then we're going to add some cheek color, so I'm going to do R20. And I'm going to do a little dot here in the center, and then I'm just going to flick away from that dot. So it's really dark in the center part. And then I'm going to add R30. And again, I go from the center and pull out past my R20. Then we're going to add E21 again. So let's just go ahead and start over here on her ear. And then I'm going to add E00. And then we'll go over her entire face with our E000. And I didn't worry about going right over the top of that eye because later I'm going to use my colorless blender on the little eye dot, and then I'm going to use my Copic multi-liner to darken those up because it didn't stamp as dark as I would like. And these lips we're going to paint red, so if you go over those, it's no big deal either. And I think I'll pink her cheeks up just a little bit more. So let's grab R20 again. And then we'll soften that with R30. And then let's wipe over those with our E000. And then for her lips, we're going to use R35. Let's do her hair next. For that, we're going to use E44, 23, 53, and 50. And I'm going to start with my E44. And let's start down here on this side. We're just going to brush away from the side of her face. And then I want to brush, let's see, this little curl here that's coming out from behind. And then she's got a little bit of hair showing right here. I'm going to fill that in between her arm there. And then for each of these little swoops here, I want to go and let's give this one right here a little bit of color. That. Then we'll go up here and let's do right behind her headband. And then away from her part. And I think I'll bring this bottom section up just a little bit more. And as long as I got her upside down, let's do this bottom section. I work better flicking towards myself. Okay, and let's do right here in the bow. turn her around. And let's do this side of her part. I'm going to go ahead and fill it into the bow. And it does, I'm not going to worry that there's a little bit of white in there because I'm going to come back with a second coat later. And then let's do this side. And then away from the bottom of the bow. And then the curly cues down here at the bottom. And let's see. And then we want to go in on these little dips. And then we'll go up here and we'll do her bangs. Okay, then we're going to add E23. And I'm going to start right down here at the bottom where I started the last time. And let's see, let's bring this down and around this corner right here a little bit. And then we're going to go this way. Let's start up here. Let me turn my girl around. Even though I colored this in, I'm going to add a little bit of red up here in the top. And then let's do this side over here. And our bangs. And we're going to add E53. And then we're going to add E50. And I like to go over the entire hair with this. So I'm just going to brush over the last three colors and fill in the rest of my white. this side. And then I like to go back and add my darkest color, which was E44. So let's start over here, and I'm going to go ahead and do this little spot that was behind her arm again. Let's go ahead and do this side. And then we flip her over. And I'm going to add a little bit down here by her ear. And over here on this side of the bow. And work our way back down to the bottom here. Let's do her hair bow next. For that, we're going to use C1, C0, BG75, BG72, and B52. I'm going to start with my C1. And let's do a little bit of shadow coming up away from this ear. And then we want it to come away from this bow. Bottom of this knot, and then over here on this side of the bow. And this bow. Okay, then I want to add a little bit of my C0 to soften that. I'm just going to go right over the top of our C1 and go out just a little bit further. Then we are going to add BG75. And for that, I'm just going to dot it around on my bow. The faster you go with your pen, the smaller the dots will be. The slower you go, the fatter your dots will be. Then I'm going to add BG72. Same thing, I'm just going to dot it right on there. And I don't mind if it touches other dots or goes right on top of the dot. And then we're going to add B52. Then I'm going to take my C0 and I'm just going to lightly go back over where I put it before and just soften the top of these dots just a little bit. So let's do the dress next. For that we are going to use W3, BG75, 72, B52, quadruple 0, and then BG78. I'm going to start with my W3. And let's do a little dab of that. There's a little bit of a dress showing right here, so I'm going to color that. And then I want to come up from her sleeve. And then for this sleeve over here, same thing, there's a little bit of her dress showing right here. And there's a little spot right there I should have colored with my hair color. Let me see. E44, so we're going to fix that right here. Whoops, wrong end. Right here's a little dab of hair showing through her arm. Fix that before I forget about it. Okay, so we're going to continue with our W3. I'm going to pull a little bit of this up off of her sleeve here. And then for her dress down here, our skirt, let's go down each side of these pleats. I'm going to go right next to the ruffle too. Work our way over to the other side. And then we're going to add BG75. So let's go back up here at the top, and I'm going to cover up that W3. I want to go a little bit past my W3. Go over to this arm. And then we'll go down here and do her skirt. So I'm going to go right across the ruffle here real quick. And I'm trying not to color that ruffle, even though we're going to color it red. This is kind of dark, so it will show through the red we're going to use. Okay, and then for the skirt, I want to touch down on top of my W3 and then go out past just a little bit. And if you color inside the little pleat right here, it's not going to matter because we're going to color it with our BG78, so it's going to cover that up. Then I want to go from the other direction. And I like to do it this way because I can lay my pen a little bit flatter, kind of on the edge. And when I flick it out, it softens up at the edge, at the end part. All right, now we're going to add BG72. And then we'll add a little bit down here to our skirt. I'm just trying to go over just the edge of that BG75. Just a tiny dab. Okay, then we're going to add B52. And her skirt. And then we're going to add B quadruple 0 to fill it the rest of the way in. Okay, I'm not liking that, so I must have done my B52, which was B52, right here. I must have went over the rest of this area and then come back with my B quadruple 0 and soften that up. So let's just go down and fill these in real quick. Okay, then we'll add our B quadruple 0 and just go over the entire dress. Kind of soften them, squish them all together. Then we are going to take our BG78 and I'm going to fill in these little lines here in the middle. And then I'm going to go a little bit up here on her sleeves too. So let's go a little dab. Corners. And I think I'll add a little bit along the edges of their dress, right along here. And then I'm going to add a second coat in these little pleats. Make them really dark. Then I'm going to go with my B000 and I'm going to swipe over these little ruffles again. So for her apron, we're going to use YR21, Y32, and YR20. I'm going to start with my YR21. And let's do, we're going to do the center of her apron. So let's go up here by her face. And up here on this side. And then down here. And then we're going to add Y32. And then we'll go over the entire thing with YR20. For the ruffle, we're going to use R27, R05, and R32. We're going to start with R27. And I'm just going to do each little ruffle with a little dab right next to the edge, or next to her apron. Trying to be very careful. We don't want to get that on that yellow. I got a little bit of my green down here on some of these dots, and it's working out pretty good. They don't look like they're the red's hiding it pretty well. Next, we're going to add RO5. So I just want to touch down on my R27 and just bring it out a little bit more. And then we're going to go over both of those with our R32. For the bowl, we're going to use E81, E50, and RO5 for the hearts. I'm going to start with my E81. And I'm going to brush that on the inside of my bowl. And bring it around here towards the center. And then for the bowl, let's go. And since we're going to color these red, if you get a little bit on your hearts, it's going to be just fine. We'll color right over the top of that. Then we want to add E50. And I'm going to color the top of the bowl too. So I want to go over the entire the parts where we put the E81 on. And I think I'll add a second coat of my E81. Darken it up just a little bit in a couple of spots. And then for the hearts, we're going to use RO5. And we're going to very carefully color those in. You can also use your Spica glitter pen in red or lipstick, and that would make it sparkly and color them in. For the batter in the bowl, we are going to use YR31 and 30. I'm going to start with my YR31. And I'm just going to take this and kind of swirl it around in little circles. And then I'm going to go over and fill in the rest with my YR30. And I think I'll do a second coat of my YR31. Next, let's do the spatula. For the handle, we're going to use E44 and 41, and for the spatula, we're going to use R27 and 05. I'm going to start with my E44. And I'm going to do that right along the bottom. that. And then I'm going to fill it in the rest of the way with my E41. And then for the spatula, we're going to do R27 first. And for that, I just colored in all this except for that little centerpiece. And then I'm going to take my R05 and just swipe over this whole top part. That leaves us with her shoes and her socks. For that, we're going to use W9, 7, 5, 3, and 00. I'm going to start with my W9. And let's do that right on the inside of this. That. And then I'm going to go down the back of her shoe and along the sole. And then on the back here, I want to give it a couple of little creases. So let's do one right here and right there. And then for this shoe, same thing. Let's go down the inside of the little tongue. And then the back of her shoe. And along the sole. And again, let's give this side a little couple of creases. So let's go right here, right here. And then we're going to add W7. So let's just soften this edge just a little bit. So I'm just going to go right down the edge there. And then we're going to add W5. And then W3. And we're just going to fill in this top section here. And then we're going to take our W00 and we're going to color in these little patches on their shoe. And I'm going to do a little bit on her socks. And for a sole, I'm just going to sweep a little bit from each side. So there is our beautiful Baker Marci all colored up. Didn't she turn out cute? And then again, here's our finished card. So on my finished card, I have, she's popped up, the little sentiment tag is popped up, this little circle that all this stuff is sitting on is popped up, and then this little whisk here is a little bit popped up. Otherwise, everything is kind of glued down on top of each other. And this little whisk and rolling pin and this little apron are both brand new dies from La La Land Crafts. And they're available in the store if you want to pick those up and make your own. These would look so cute along with her on some of those like recipe cards or little recipe book. I'm not that talented to make that, but I know a lot of ladies make their own little cute recipe cards, and they're so adorable. And if you make one, I'd love to see it, but they would go perfect to decorate your little recipe cards. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, go ahead and leave me a comment, and I'll make sure to get back to you. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.